Hey guys and occasional girls, my name is GrrrVahrrr and this is Metro 2033. I wanted to play this game for a long time. Why? Because I actually read the original novel Metro 2033 and it was okay. And the core story was garbage, moral quite trivial, and the setting stolen straight from Stalker the video game but moved to Moscow subway. However, the world itself was incredibly detailed and logical. Every location was thought out and special, so I just kept reading because I was curious about the next place the main protagonist is gonna visit, not giving two shits about the hero himself. The book also has almost no action, but a lot of descriptions and dialogue. It was a journey with a ton of horror elements in it, so making an FPS out of it would be incredibly hard, and most likely end up as a colossal shit. And holy crap, I was right. Honestly, I read the book years ago, so memories got a little bit stale, but let's take a look at the game story and see how it was changed. The game starts from the flash forward to the very end of the game, and I personally hate when games do that. It is like they try to excuse themselves for a slow start and tell the player, no, you just wait, don't uninstall, shit will definitely hit the fan, you just wait. Which means that even the creators were so embarrassed they had to put an action scene in the beginning to keep the player's attention. It is just pathetic. But whatever. We play as Artyom, who originally was a weak, frightened puppy thrown into the hostile world, whose simple, miserable life in some distant station no one gave a shit about was interrupted by attacks of the Dark Ones, who in book didn't actually attack anyone, they just appeared and those who were nearby went mad, and that is it. In game, however, they seem to leave wounds in addition to the insanity, but I digress. Artyom. The only good thing about him was that he was completely relatable. He has never left the station, never held a gun in his life, basically he knew nothing about the world and was just as weak and clueless as the reader. That made him a perfect storytelling device. But the game doesn't seem to care all that much, because in about 3 minutes you're given a revolver and supposed to shoot a bunch of monsters that die in 2 shots and look stupid. Monsters in book were things of nightmares, incredibly strong and agile. They were so much of a threat, fighting them was a death sentence if you didn't hold a well-lit, well-built barricade. In game they're just mutated monkeys that die in a couple of shots, and fuck that. I also hate the fact that Artyom is a silent protagonist, but kinda not. He only talks during loading screens in the most monotonous and different voice I've ever heard. Just listen.
Hunter did not return. It wouldn't be easy to find an excuse to leave the station and travel to Polis, but I had given my word.
What was the point of doing that? Or did you have no money to pay that shitty voice actor to do the whole game? What happens next is Hunter gives Artyom a mission to go to Polis and tell his buddy Miller what is going on, since he thinks that the Dark Ones are a threat to all the Metro. Again, nobody gave a shit about Artyom's station, nobody cared about him either. The only thing that mattered is to stop any threat from reaching central stations where the majority of people live. So our journey begins, and to be honest it is not much of a journey, but a simple murder fest. Monsters, people, more monsters. Artyom doesn't care, he's a carnage machine. A quite fast development from a mama's boy to a stone cold killer. In a book Artyom doesn't kill a single person as far as I remember, and fighting a monster for him is the bravest thing in the world. But here, no, he's a post-apocalyptic Rambo. Making a relatable character? Why the fuck would you do that anyway? And the next thing he does, he goes to the surface, fuck me. He goes to the freaking surface and apparently a gas mask is enough to survive all the poison and radiation there. I can't fucking stress enough how wrong that is. That takes away so much from the universe, you could damage it far less by smashing its skull with a sledgehammer. In book, going to the surface is an act of heroism. To do that, you need a freaking Big Daddy suit to protect you from all the hazards out there, and it is still lasted for like an hour. You needed an oxygen tank for the fuck's sake. That is why no one saw the sky their whole lives. You couldn't just put a jacket and a gas mask on and go for a walk. Going to the surface for the first time was one of the best moments in book, while in game it is just a casual walk in a park. Besides, it was also incredibly dangerous out there all the time due to monster infestation. After dark, no one even thought about going outside since there was zero chance of survival. And stop this snowy Moscow shit. It is just a city and goes through other seasons as well, not just freaking winter. In book the outside world is a wreck, yes, but it is a radioactive wreck with mutated forests full of dangerous creatures, giant mushroom groves and other biomes. It is not just Moscow in winter. Artyom and that other guy continue their casual jog by killing more monsters. And by the way, see that thing? In book it was so dangerous if it spots you, you are dead. In game I killed a couple. After killing several dozens more people, Artyom meets this guy who helps him to go through haunted tunnels and avoid the anomaly. Oh, the anomaly. What was supposed to be a mysterious threat of a new world, a phenomenon none can understand, is just a sparkling disco ball that kills you if you move. I wonder if they marked the beginning of game development by burning the original novel and pissing on it in turns. Next stop is a communist territory and their war against Nazis, and fuck. That is what's cool about the book, different societies you meet. The book had a bunch more like religious cults and other political forces, but if we're talking about communists and Nazis, the game missed the most interesting things about them. Communists, okay, that story is simple. Basically the red line where they're located goes through KGB headquarters, so a bunch of old farts with outdated beliefs managed to grab all the power, just as usual. But Nazis and Artyom's meeting with them was very entertaining. Nazis in book are just a bunch of idiots who found some Nazi propaganda and thought that this sign is a message from ancestors to kill all the black people. So when Artyom met them, they asked, "Do you hate blacks?" And Artyom said yes, since the dark ones in book are called the black ones. Which is too offensive for the game, I guess. So he joined the Nazis without knowing what they were. He just thought they have the same cause, to kill all the black ones. Only eventually an Asian prisoner explained things to him, and Artyom was shocked by the whole notion of racism and nationalism. He didn't even thought of a possibility that such a thing could exist, and there it was right in front of him. That is cool, that is interesting. Well, killing Nazis is not. I can do it in a million other games. Yeah, in-game Nazis are so stereotypical they even have a panzer tank or whatever it's called. After killing Nazis, we go through a recently ruined station where we find one of the most obnoxious, irritating brats in video game history, which Artyom has to escort, of course. Well, the kid rides Artyom to safety, making aiming incredibly annoying, so I don't know if it counts as an escort quest, but the whole situation is so badly written and badly played you can replace characters with monsters from space and it would be just as engaging. Just listen to that dialogue.
Uncle! Uncle! Come on, get up! We'll get eaten! Please, why are you sleeping? Let's go to Mom. You told me you'd take me to my mom. You promised. Go away! Leave me alone! Mom told me to not talk to strangers. Please, Uncle, are you hurt? Say something! He won't wake up. I think he's dead. He's dead, isn't he? How will I get home? You'll take me? I don't know you, but if I don't, I guess I'll get eaten by the monsters. You'll have a gun? Okay, maybe I'll come with you.
Fuck! Your uncle just died saving your life, you ungrateful fuck! You almost died, how about a little sorrow and fear? He's like talking to a machine programmed to be a kid, and Artyom, he's fucking nuts! Imagine if you were a kid in need of help, you ask a stranger for help and he doesn't talk, he just looks in your eyes and nods slowly. How freaking creepy is that? He's like Artyom didn't rape him right on his uncle's corpse!
He won't wake up. I think he's dead. He's dead, isn't he? How will I get home? You'll take me?
Yes.
I don't know you, but if I don't, I guess I'll get eaten by the monsters. You'll have a gun?
Yes.
Okay. Maybe I'll come with you then.
To be honest, if I were Tom, I would just shoot him, because he's annoying as hell. He never shuts up with all his little comments.
Hey, look out! There's a hole!
After we are done with the kid, Artyom goes outside again to cut through a Nazi outpost. And outside Nazi outpost, they even cook food in there, look! For the fuck's sake! Let's skip to the next part or I'm gonna kill someone. But guess what? Next part is about killing more Nazis. Skip! We arrive to Polis eventually, which is also nothing like in a book. Since Polis is located in the center of Moscow where there is no train depot for obvious reasons, it grew in power due to the extensive amount of supplies taken from Kremlin reserves and space, since 4 stations are connected into one there. It is basically the center of culture and science and an independent state. That is why it is called Polis. In game, of course, none of it is explained, and Artyom just takes the information to some mysterious console a player knows nothing about. Console decides to ignore the Dark Ones, so Artyom and his ranger friends think that the best way to deal with the situation is to nuke the Dark Ones. But first they need to know the location of the rockets, so they go to the biggest library in town. What was totally ignored is the ruby stars of Kremlin. Kremlin in the book is the most mysterious place in the setting. The radiation affected its stars, so if anyone looks at them, they hypnotize the victim, making him go inside, and no one ever returns from Kremlin. Not in the game though, not in the game. The library itself is actually one of the scariest moments in the book, because of the librarians, incredibly deadly creatures that kill everyone who disturbs them. In-game giant apes that you kill by dozens. Yep. Anyway, Artyom finds the documents. Well, he finds some book and grabs it without even looking inside, so for all we know, it may be just an ancient porn magazine. After leaving the library, he gets picked up by some rangers who take him to their outdoor base. God damn it! What is the point of living in Metro again? They don't even use masks on the inside. Do concrete walls stop the radiation? Fuck you, game, just fuck you. The whole next sequence was taken straight from someone's ass, I think, because I remember absolutely nothing about going into a secret military silo and fighting a mutated blob in its generator room, but I might be mistaken. When we're done with all that bullshit, it's time to return to the beginning and get to the tower to guide the missiles. Artyom climbs it eventually, sets the guiding system and gets psionically attacked by the Dark Ones.
He cannot be allowed.
After a pretty easy maze, Artyom is given a gun and the guy says,
If it's hostile, you kill it.
I thought, wow, I know that the book ends with Artyom nuking the bastards. Maybe the game has an alternative ending. I won't shoot, so it means they're not hostile, so he won't nuke them. Makes sense, right? But no, if you don't shoot, you get killed. And even in a good ending that you get through some stupid obligatory bullshit you have to do in visions throughout the game, you still have to shoot. How does that make any sense? And why can't I destroy the targeting system on the spot? Because I feel like it, or change my mind, or whatever. There is nothing stopping me, only running in the wrong direction in some hallucination couple of hours ago. Anyway, Artyom nukes them, just like in a book, resulting in a disappointing ending, just like in a book. No, wait, the game's ending even worse. In the book, after the rockets were launched, the Dark Ones finally get the message to Artyom that they were peaceful, and their attempts to communicate drove people insane, asking him why did he destroy them. So Artyom realized he made the mistake only after he made it, which makes the ending at least a little bit tragic. In game, he does it just cause. From the very start, you're told that they are a new step of evolution, and they talk to you all the time, while in book you're not even certain if they're sentient beings or mindless beasts.
I led my war protecting my family and friends, protecting my home, the metro. We had won.
Story-wise, the game is garbage and is a complete and total disrespect of the source material. And the moral of the story is so simplistic it is almost impossible to deliver it worse than the book did. But the game manages to do it by making it even more boring. Wow, people are afraid of what they don't understand. What a freaking revelation! Or was it done so many times it just became boring? I don't even know. That is why I don't like the book all that much. It provokes no thought at all and brings nothing new to the table but a well thought out world. However, it is just a pity that an opportunity to make something good of it was missed by Country Mile and there is no other shot. Maybe it is what the series deserves though, because the author himself is a sellout. After writing Metro 2033, he wrote Metro 2034 that was shit. Well, at least the first half of it was, and then I just stopped reading. And then he just sold his world to a bunch of other people to write about it and to teach you to make a game, and see how that turned out. But let's not jump to the conclusions and take a look at the gameplay first. Maybe it redeems the awful story.